everyone, and welcome to Rival Bros, EPL across the pond. Rival Bros, another great week. I mean, we talked a lot about it last week that this was probably going to be some crazy weeks ahead, but we already had this weekend over here that there's a lot to talk about. And then we're going to look ahead, obviously, the fixtures. I'm your host, as always, Timucin over here representing Liverpool. My brother, the black sheep of the family, Edip, is here representing United. We'll talk about United versus Chelsea. Match week 34 already started. So we're going to be one game less in the upsets, which, by the way, let's get that out of the way, that the upsets that we picked last week, once again, I crushed you, and now up by 8 points.
Did you get 4?
Yes, I did.
Did you get the 1 as well? Because
Yes,
I gave Tuna, my son said, how did you give this 3 points away with your I was tricked into it. So I studied this because you got Newcastle versus Bournemouth.
Yeah, that was an upset. It was away. Bournemouth was away.
Yes, that was not an upset because you got the draw as well. Bournemouth won, didn't it?
Yeah,
Didn't
they
they?
won.
Yeah,
Yes.
at the end and at the end. But when it was a draw, Tuna told me that they weren't actually Newcastle didn't actually beat Bournemouth in St James Park for the last
Hey,
five
you know what?
games
If
or
you don't do
something.
your research, don't blame
Yeah,
me. Ask the
exactly.
chats before
So
you come
yes,
on the show.
I did my homework this time. So let's see you then. We still have 4 weeks to go. I will be like Manchester City, pouncing on you, coming from the back.
Okay, since you said Manchester
From
City, we'll start from the top of the table. I was going to
okay.
ask you if you want to start from the top or the bottom. We'll start with the top. We'll start with the game over the weekend. Obviously, that was like the big one this weekend. A lot of big games. Obviously, the Merseyside Derby, the Chelsea United game, a lot of like huge matchups. And not to mention the ones that are like relegation related. But City beat Arsenal 2-1. A lot of Arsenal people are opening the windows and stepping out to the ledge already as the game was coming to an end over there. They have a game in hand at 3 points behind. How does it look to you now? We're going to look at the fixtures in a little bit so that we can get a picture. But psychologically, to me, it feels like it has come to a situation where, who's going to blink first?
Yeah.
And when you look at City and when you look at Arsenal, City, unfortunately, I know as a Liverpool fan, has done this for years now and has a lot more experience on not feeling that pressure and not blinking. Whereas Arsenal, with their spaz of a manager in Arteta, is a lot more likely to not only blink but burst their eyes out under the pressure. But how do you
Yeah.
see it now that the game is over?
Uh, I have already said this many times when they were head to head as well, that Arsenal was going to get it, to be honest.
Yes.
But if you are a conspiracy theorist, you would say, how did the Premier League bring it to this last 4 weeks of sheer excitement, blah blah blah. But let's say this is actually happening.
No, there's no way. Come on. This is not the NBA where they're
No,
going to game seven or
I'm
whatever.
not sure.
Then why
I'm
did
not
they
sure about
let Liverpool run away with it a couple of seasons? City ran away with a couple of seasons. Like they couldn't do it
yeah.
then.
I'm not sure, but even then, I would argue as an Arsenal, not a hater, but I don't. I'm really not um, anti-Arsenal. I think I realized it's like Besiktas. It's not sort of the anti-team. It's a neutral team, I guess. Not like
I see
Manchester, or not like
Spurs like
Liverpool
that.
at
I
all.
see
Yeah,
Spurs like that. Arsenal
yeah.
to me, I think that the fans, no offense to any Arsenal fans listening, but I find Arsenal fans as in general, not every single one, but in general to be pretty insufferable. And I think more than that, I think it's the manager that I find extremely
Yeah.
annoying in Arteta, which has rubbed off to some of their players. I still go back to Odegaard's, like, taking pictures after that
Yeah,
match and stuff like that. It's just a team that's, I don't want to like be totally rude and say they don't know their place or anything like that, but it's just like a team slash club right now that's kind of tries to act like they're like royalty and one of the top ones for a team that hasn't really won anything in quite some time.
yeah, that is correct. That's what I was going to say. I watched a clip by Rio Ferdinand, and he was
Okay.
comparing Sir Alex at the sides or Pep uh, being calm and cooling down the nerves, like not blinking, as it were, like you said.
Okay.
But he was saying how Arteta wasn't like that at all,
No.
and that's the disadvantage that you have been saying all the time as well. He
Yep.
on the sidelines more panicky than the team itself,
He
not
manages it like
calming.
they're like a U12 team. Like he has to
Exactly.
tell
Yeah.
everybody where
Yeah.
to
That,
go.
that was that was what Ferdinand was saying. You need at these times you need someone there to calm down and calm down the people and say, yes, we are here. But I mean, looking at the game, uh, I don't know if you got the same feeling. If it wasn't for Donnarumma, uh, Arsenal wouldn't be scoring anything because their goals depend on a couple of things. One of them, as we all know, is the set pieces, the corners, blah
Yep.
blah. The other is Bakayo Saka, which is like
Yeah.
on the wing, doing something creative and opening up place for the others. Uh, Neither of those things worked, and Arsenal didn't look like scoring except the very last moment when Havertz actually put
Yeah.
the header up against an empty goal. Really, I mean,
Yeah, he
he
should
should have
get
scored
that.
that.
He should get
Uh,
that.
I think that's the thing that they couldn't keep their head down, and I don't think Arteta was coming there for winning that game.
No.
He just wanted to get away with it.
He never does. And that's like the thing with him, right? Like there's a lot more of I think to a neutral, I would assume, like, I don't consider myself a neutral in this sense, right? I'm talking like, I don't know, like a Brighton fan, Brentford fan, or something like that. I find it hard to believe that they're like, oh, this Arsenal team, this football they're playing deserves to be champions. I don't see a lot of soccer fans, fans of the sport, really like admiring what Arsenal does. Like, oh, this is great. 2 minutes to take a corner kick. Beautiful. Like, let me just go make a sandwich, come back so that they can take the corner kick. So I think that's part of it because you look at City and look, like City is not the old City, but you have Doko on one side, Semenyo on the other, and you can give him the ball and you can already see the defense worrying as they get the ball and like start looking at you, right? And you have a guy like Rodri in the base of that protecting whatever. If they lose the ball, he's over there to protect everything. And they keep coming at you, and they have Holland in the middle. So it's not like you can say, oh, let's go close down Doku, put two guys in front of him so he can't do anything. Because you can't take away too many people from the middle because Holland is over there. So they have a constant threat of attack. Whereas, like you said, it's so slow the way Arsenal like attacks and like what they
I
rely on.
agree.
Like you see that Saka is the only guy I think that could have done that. And I actually, I'm more shocked that like Eze, for example, has not become that player like on the
No,
other side. I really thought when they signed them, I was like, oh, they just unlocked everything because now they're going to have like different wingers that can actually do something.
no, I think Pep's preparation. You mentioned Rodri there, and obviously the goals that came in. Uh, what Arsenal goal was Havertz's effort
Yeah,
of
that's a Donnarumma
Donnarumma's
gift, basically. Yeah.
silliness, but the other goals, one of them came in. You are talking about all this threat from the wings and everything. It came down to jerky, like dancing
Yeah.
his way into the box with that Arsenal.
But I think
It's
that's why he can do that. because they're
Okay.
so worried about. There's so many people to worry about, I guess.
Yeah, that's the thing probably. And the second goal was all Haaland, I think, and his
Yes.
reactions and his sort of power in the box. Uh, but obviously, if you look at this, Eze, Semenyo, and Gehi, who by the way played every minute of every game since his transfer in January, which you just missed him
Yeah.
in the summer window, didn't you? So I think what they are doing is, uh, I have a lot of respect for Pep. He's uh, he's studious. He's working very hard. He's thinking very hard, but he has the means. So he says, "Ah, this guy is good. Let's get him. This guy is also good. Let's get him
Yeah.
as well." The team is not the old City. It's not the City that started the season, and this City drew many times when
Yes.
they were chasing Arsenal, where we said, "Ah, City is out of the
Yeah, because we
race."
said, yeah, they don't have it anymore. I mean, to be fair, yes, they basically rolled the dice in January. They went all in and they got what they needed and it's paying off.
Yeah,
With Pep, I get that. I mean, that's basically the biggest knock on him, I guess, that he's like a checkbook manager and stuff. But I still respect the dude a lot because there are a lot of managers who have similar checkbooks who have not done shit.
oh yeah, oh yeah. That is
Right? I
correct.
mean,
But I
that's
think I
my
think
thing.
he's,
Like, I mean, look at Chelsea, for example.
yeah,
There's a lot of checks
exactly.
being written over there, but that
Yeah,
does not guarantee it. I think he has the skill to, like, when they were going back and forth with Klopp, and those two guys have like a ridiculous respect to each other. Like, you can see it every time they talk about each other and stuff. Like, one guy's talent was getting something average or above average. Average is probably not fair, but basically guiding it, motivating it, and to get more out of it.
yeah,
And you had another guy whose, I think, superpower is being able to maintain a squad that where everybody is making big money. And you have a
right.
bench full of like national team players and keeping everybody either, even if they're not happy, respect what's happening with the club. And if they
Yeah.
don't, he's very quick to sell them.
Yes, that is correct. I mean, that again goes back to the checkbook as well. But as you say, there are managers, a lot of managers who couldn't manage that.
Yes.
Chelsea is one. I think United is another one as well. To be honest, and I think Slot has sort of spent loads of money,
Yeah,
and
it
not
doesn't
produced any
guarantee it.
results with it.
Like, it just
Yeah,
does not guarantee it.
no,
So
that's
that's
not.
why, like, anytime that I understand that, yeah, he has the means. I mean, how many? I mean, they spent like 500 million on backs before like he settled on the backs he likes and stuff. But yeah, they have the means to. I think the difference is, like, for example, with a team like Liverpool, I think United has kind of like rolls the dice a lot more, but they can get away with misfiring and
Yeah,
signing a guy for 60, 70, because then they go get another guy for 60, 70. Whereas most clubs, they got to make sure they hit. So they might be basically thinking a bit longer. And then City comes in and says, how much? Yeah, that's fine. Just send him over here. If we
correct.
don't like it, we'll just go buy another one and kind of a deal. But let's look at this over here. These are their remaining games.
So this is
So
tonight.
yeah, the
Our
Burnley
time.
game is basically coming up, well, tonight for you, tomorrow for me. But yeah, that's where we're at right now. They have the Burnley game, then they go uh Everton, Brentford, Bournemouth, Palace, and Villa for City.
Burnley game, the game tonight.
And for,
I,
I
I,
should
I
basically mention, by the way, so for on the left hand side, the red games, the red ones are home. On the right hand side, the blue ones are home, and green is away on both.
yeah, uh, City games are all really difficult, to be honest. Away at Everton, not the Burnley game. I wouldn't think, but the Everton game you experienced uh, this week. It came down to a 90 plus goal. I mean, a draw would not be too much of a surprise. Brentford is a tough one. Bournemouth is a tougher one, to be honest.
Especially it's
And
away. Yeah.
yeah, and even Villa game at the end, 24th of May, while Arsenal, they will have a difficult game every game if they keep playing like this, because they have difficulty of opening these closed defenses, and they have to have a lot of corners before they can sort of,
Yes.
score anything. So if they win today, they have the double uh, advantage, don't they?
Yes, they
Because
did.
the first game is a draw. Now, being on the same points will not help Arsenal, so they will have to
Yeah.
have
If
one
City
more.
wins out, they're the title winner. So it's in their hands
Exactly.
right now. Yes.
Yeah. Um, well, I'm still going for Arsenal.
You're still going for Arsenal. So where do
Yeah.
you think City? So are you saying Arsenal will win all five?
I don't think so, but I think City has a better chance of um, being tackled at Everton, at Bournemouth. I'm also thinking like Brentford.
Yeah, the only game I see as like an oddball one is Newcastle actually for Arsenal, especially this week. Like I say,
Yeah,
if I'm picking City, it more than the matchups that we're looking at over there, I'm just going more in like in terms of like psychology, that kind of that factor, like the intangibles, if you will, where I feel like City will be more determined and comfortable in their own skin because they have done this before. They've been there, done that. And Arsenal, not only they've been there, well, they've been there, but they haven't done it.
on the negative side, yeah, they have
And
been
they've
there.
also like they created a situation. Like I think like a month or so ago, this there were so many weeks where if Arsenal won, we were like, oh, the deal is gonna be sealed. It was gonna be 9 points or something like that. I mean, like, don't quote me on the exact number, but there was like at least 2 or 3 weekends they went out there to make the difference, like 9 points or something like that, and they failed. They dropped points and stuff. So they know that. Not only like they're like, if it was the other way around, like Arsenal won and they caught up the City, you could be like, okay, they have an edge now. They're chasing, coming full speed. I almost feel like they were looking at the rear mirror. They were like, what the hell? When did they pass us? And now it's going to go. I really think that's kind of like my upsets 1 pointer this week, for example, is like the Newcastle game. I think Newcastle does get something from that. Let's look at the bottom now. I mean, real
This is
quick,
more
I
fun,
guess,
isn't it?
yeah, we'll cover our games real quick over here because obviously we want to do the upsets and stuff still too. But United gets, well, it looked Brighton didn't make it look like it's an but at least United was away. But it's like a huge 3 points, kind of like cements them, I think, in the Champions League thing now too. They had like an 8 point gap, obviously, even now, like with the game in hands. What did you make of that one?
The United Chelsea game.
Yeah.
I think it was a fair result. We didn't play too well. I thought not in the midfield, but Chelsea is so um, out of it. And I read
That's what Brighton
yesterday.
said, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, after yesterday's loss at Brighton, uh, since they were founded, like 117 years or something like that, isn't it? 114 years, 117 years. Uh,
It's too late for me
this
to
is
do
the
that.
first time Chelsea team has lost five in a row without scoring a goal. That is history all-time low. That is something.
Wait. That can't
You're
be.
checking this now.
I
Yes.
am checking this
I
now
I
because,
I I told you I did my
you
homework.
coming over here with like fake stats over here. How was that even possible? Didn't they?
No, that is incredible. And it's
Wow,
all
that is
like,
crazy.
yeah, 3-0. And yes, I mean,
And you know what the
our
funny
our
thing is?
game.
In between, they also, I mean, they beat Port Vale, I guess, in FA Cup.
Yeah,
So they
I mean,
have
that
that
didn't
going
count,
for them. But yeah, that's freaking crazy.
isn't it?
Yeah,
That's
that is
that's
the
that's
craziest thing.
why I I don't think Chelsea is was a difficult away game. Apart from the name Chelsea, they were
Yes.
all over the place. To be honest, I mean, if they are sort of hoping from Garnacho to create something, we've been through that as United a lot of times, especially when somebody is defending. There were a lot of very good um, performances at United, and bearing in mind we have Martinez out from the silly red card, I would add, and sort of Maguire wasn't there, so we were with Heaven,
Yep.
who had a yellow at some point, didn't he? Really, he played with a yellow in his pocket, and and sort of even then they weren't really forcing us to
Yeah,
too
because
many
when
dangers.
Garnacho was coming in, I even told you, I'm like, oh man, he's been like having dreams of this for probably for like
Yeah,
months to be able to come in and do something. And yeah, I mean, he was like ineffective. I mean, Chelsea overall, it feels like, yeah, just a lot of like good players in there. I mean, obviously Caicedo, I really wanted him at Liverpool where he almost came over and stuff. Uh Enzo Fernandez, I think, is a guy that you would love if he's on your team. Really annoying otherwise. That kind of like a
very
player,
annoying.
like a
Yes,
Bernardo Silva-ish kind of like a player. So they have those players, but yeah, it seems like everybody's. I mean, I was watching that Brighton game today. They are just all over the place. It's a team that looks lost and have no belief in themselves. So sometimes, and you would think at times, I mean, I guess similar to Tottenham, we're going to talk about the relegation zone now. When you have so much talent, that they would save you here and there, like they would
yeah,
do some miracle goals. I mean, we normally, when we look at like relegation teams, we say, oh, but they can score goals because they have so and so up front and stuff. I mean, to the fact that Chelsea, after spending all this money, doesn't have one guy like that that can kind of like get you out of trouble and everything is in Palmer's hands, which does not always work very well for them.
no,
It is shocking, and now they're kind of like in danger of the Liverpool and Champions League, like a European spots. Kind of gonna
exactly. The
pray
Brighton
for
is there
Villa to
now as
win.
well. The Brighton has a better chance of making the Champions
Yeah,
League.
Brighton just basically jumped ahead of him, and I'm pretty sure when I was looking, I mean, like Brentford, there was like a couple of teams. If they win this weekend, they will go above Chelsea, and Chelsea has a tough schedule rest of the season as well. I mean, they do play some top teams. You can take that as an opportunity to gain up on them, but not in Chelsea's. I mean, they still play us. I believe they still play Villa. So they have some like tough fixtures too. It's not like an easy ride for them, but
That is
um
correct. But I mean, coming back to United, it wasn't. Uh, I won't say it's ugly. It wasn't beautiful, but they did the work, and they got the job done, because they knew if they won this, it would be 10 points with the sixth place. So that
yeah.
meant the Champions League place. So well done, guys. Really, that was not a very very good performance, but we got what we wanted, and it was
Pretty much the
um,
same thing
it
I'm
was
probably
it
gonna
was a
say about
beautiful
Liverpool,
it was a
really.
beautiful goal, which we tried a couple of times as well, which makes me think it's been done homework, like.
Carrick at the wheels. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, pretty much the same thing that I'm probably gonna say about Liverpool. Really, it was not but I mean, Liverpool has struggled. Obviously, this is the first time we're playing in their new stadium and stuff. So you knew Everton was gonna be all like piss and vinegar and kind of go at it. But even in our peak, like under Klopp years, that has always been a tough away game. A ton of draws that we got over there and stuff. I think on the Monday night podcast with like on American Scouser, Gally was saying like 8 out of 11 games or something like that. Don't call me an exact number, but were draws in the last 11 seasons. So big win coming from a set pieces makes it even better, I think, especially with Van Dijk owning Tarkovsky means even more. And I think, it's really helped because with Chelsea, you guys beating Chelsea, us beating Everton, kind of put us in that spot now. I mean, nothing is a given because we still play Chelsea, we still play Villa, and obviously we come to Old Trafford and stuff. But I do think, they're in a good position to make the Champions League, which opens up a lot of conversations for Liverpool about slot staying and stuff that really irks people. But we won't get into that today because I do want to talk about the other entertainment of the weekend. The misery of London teams, especially out of the big six, has been quite the joy over here. So let's go with this over here. I know the order is different now with Tottenham on the right hand side, but these are the remaining games. And so, I mean, even though you look at Tottenham's games, they're not easy by all means because they do still have Chelsea, who will really love to, as like, like a city rival, to put them into more misery. Leeds United, you guys know firsthand that is a tough, tough, tough matchup, especially for a slightly softer team like Chelsea. And obviously, going away to Villa is no easy feat over here. So, who leaves out of these three? Leeds are in pretty good shape, mind you, but
Yeah, I would have loved at this 5 games. One of them was an Arsenal Spurs game. That would be the ultimate conspiracy theory.
yes.
That would be the ultimate because the thing is, Spurs fans could make fun of Arsenal because they are missing out on the championship again at the year that they are relegating, and the vice versa. From the beginning of the season, West Ham was my uh,
Yes.
third team.
But that was
But
more your like wish, not the prediction. Or
it was a
was it a
prediction.
combination?
But, well, it was a combination. Yeah, I wouldn't be too sad. Leeds, I'm not sure they are going to be in danger now. So
Yeah,
I
the
think
back-to-back
it's one of
wins
these
really puts
three.
them in a good spot.
Yeah. And looking at things, Forest and West Ham has a better hand over Spurs. Definitely, Spurs has a mountain to climb, I think.
Yeah, because I
If
mean,
you
I'll
look
give you
at
the points real quick. Spurs have 31, West Ham is at 33, Forest 36, Leeds at 39. So they have
yeah,
8 points above Spurs.
yeah, the one thing that Spurs has here, if they can use it, is the Wolves team, which seems to have sort of starting of the each game they have four against at the beginning. This is one of the advantages, maybe, if they can use it. Again, I'll underline that I don't know how how this Spurs team is going to perform at Wolverhampton as well. To be
Yeah,
honest,
that's like looks like that's the problem. I mean, when you're struggling, even games that on paper look like, oh, that should be an easy 3 points. There is no easy 3 points for
no.
you. I mean, because you're struggling with, I mean, that Brighton game was like probably the season in a nutshell in some ways, like the way they kind of like collapsed on that one as well. Because it felt like, okay, it's going good. And all they need is really what I mean, on the bottom of the table, all you need is like 1 or 2, 3 points to be able to kind of like climb up, but you got to start somewhere. And that was their opportunity. And they kind of, it almost
Eh,
felt like that might be when it all actually ended.
yeah, I mean, I think our dear Vitor has the most difficult one as fixture wise. Sunderland, Chelsea, and United away, and the home games aren't that comfortable either, to be honest. So I think,
But they have a
I,
5 point gap with Spurs right
ye-
now,
yeah, it looks like Spurs, to be honest,
right? Because
doesn't it?
how many points do you think Spurs gets out of those last 5 games?
Seven,
Two
seven.
wins and a draw, huh? Okay.
Yeah,
And you probably gave them Wolves as a win, I assume, right?
Wolves as a win, Everton as a win, Leeds as a draw. I'm not seeing them getting anything out of Villa. Although Villa is a bit more comfortable now, aren't they? Uh, Unlike a few weeks
Yeah, I
ago.
mean they're kind of like pretty much secured, and they will have the Europa thing with Forest going, so that's gonna be in their mind for those teams. But I mean, that's the thing. Even a rotated Villa seems like a more confident team in what they're doing. I think it's a
Yeah.
matter of being confident in what you're doing, not only like the pieces that are there. So even when you rotate, you trust what you're doing. So I think, success comes easier for those teams when, there's some kind of a belief. Whereas you can kind of tell Spurs every game is looking for something to go wrong.
Exactly, but I mean, even what we were talking earlier, there's the Chelsea game there, which could be Spurs' uh, savior of the season. I don't know, but Forest has a lot of difficult games, and
Yeah, they do.
plus, as you said, the Europa Cup semis
Yeah,
and
that's a
possibly the
difficult
final.
position for them, right? Because Villa can say the hell with it. We're already probably in the Champions League. They're at the same point as United. And
Yeah,
they can just say, like the hell with it. Let's focus on Europa, get another trophy, European trophy back in. Whereas Forest does not have that luxury because they have to really focus on the
and
league.
it will coincide with a lot of difficult games in between.
Yes. Yes. So yeah, that is a tough schedule. Now that I see this visually, but like really interesting to see like how United will finish the season, and again like how Villa will finish the season in terms of like a mindset. Are they gonna go back on cruise control now that the Champions League is secured and stuff? So that'll be.
Yeah.
But you're saying Tottenham. I'm probably saying Tottenham too, just because West Ham would be my alternative, and I do think like West Ham will win this weekend, and then might get something away from Brentford. And I think if Tottenham falls behind like 3-4 points, that's psychology factor is going to come in full blast over there, and it's going to get 10 times worse for them. So
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, you could see when they
it
scored
will be
that
fun.
goal, they were so relieved. Like you can feel the weights lifted, and then you could see like the piano coming down once freaking like Brighton scored, and them getting crushed
Yeah,
underneath. It was like a cartoon.
yeah.
So
I mean, yeah. I think Brighton um, played really well, really well.
yes,
Although they had to put Mitoma in uh,
yes.
very early because of an injury, and they looked the better parts. They looked the more organized team, to be honest.
I mean, even watching them today, they're kind of like a fun team to watch. They sometimes cause their own problems passing around in the back and stuff like that, but that's kind of like their DNA. They roll with it, but
Yeah,
they are a
and
fun team to watch.
gave away a goal to Spurs like that as well, didn't they?
Yes. Yep.
Paneke. I see he was the man of the match yesterday. I know you like him
Yes. I would
as a
love to
center
have
back.
him at Liverpool, but I think if we're keeping Konate, I don't think that's in the books
Yeah,
to sign anyone. Okay, let's finish as always over here with our upset weeks that I get right and you get wrong. So here's how it
let's see
works.
you.
We all take two shots, basketball style, which Lakers won today, by the way. One 3-pointer and a single pointer. I am up by 8 points with 5 weeks to go. So we'll pick our upsets for this week. I don't know if you want to call your son over so he can pick them for you. Have more faith in him over there. But okay, I'll let you take the first shot over here. These are the fixtures. Obviously, the
Yeah,
Brighton game is
I'm
out of.
going for Brighton getting something out of Chelsea. Would you give me
I'm putting 6 points on that.
that? Okay, let's see you. Uh, okay. Okay, this is my 3-pointer, yeah?
Okay,
Forest getting something out of Sunderland.
that's your 3 points. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, let's see here.
I'm wondering if you are going to go for Newcastle now.
I
Put your
was
money
gonna
where
go
your mouth
Newcastle
is.
for my single pointer. Nice for you to
Okay.
try to set that up, by the way. But I'm going with actually tomorrow. Leeds United getting something out of Bournemouth.
Really?
Yeah,
For the 3 points. That's a bold move. That's the 8 point comfort zone, I think.
Yeah, I think that's what it is, right? The heat check,
Yeah.
if you will, like they do in basketball. It's just, just chugging him up there because I scored the last ones. But yeah, they're doing a heat check. I'm going with Leeds United for the 3-pointer, and I am going to do Newcastle for the single point one.
Okay, I have Forest at Sunderland on Friday. It's so tempting to go with Palace. I was surprised you didn't go for Brentford because that's a no-brainer. I think that's a typical game United would draw.
Um, yeah, I guess I could have. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with Newcastle. I know Brentford has not been so great, but yeah, against United, that's the team that will give him trouble, like similar to like a Brighton and stuff.
Yeah, Fulham Villa. That's an interesting game. That's a draw game, isn't it? Really?
That's probably a draw game, yeah. I mean, you would have to pick a Fulham win for the upset, probably.
Oh, no, I'm not going to go with that. How about Everton? Everton getting something out of West Ham. Is that an upset?
I don't think so. Is a draw an upset in that one? I mean, that's the
I
question,
think
right?
so.
Like, I would think, having seen West Ham's schedule, they probably would want to get 3 points out of this one, having seen
Exactly.
the
That's
other
that's that's
games.
why I'm saying.
But wanting and doing are two different things. So that's like the question there. But I would think, I mean, it's 1 pointer. Yeah, this is like this 8 point lead is making me too soft. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'll let
Okay.
you have the Everton one as the up.
Okay. So I'll have Forest 3, Everton 1, Leeds 3, Newcastle 1 for you.
Yeah, and then I think, like that's an exciting. I think the Arsenal Newcastle is definitely like an interesting watch this weekend. And I mean, we're kind of like in that time of the year where there's like a lot, like every game affects part of the picture, either on top or which, we haven't had this. Obviously we didn't have it last season. Liverpool kind of ran away with it, so there was not as much excitement up top. And the relegation, is it more interesting for us because Tottenham is involved,
I think so.
right?
Because we,
Kind of
we
like
have been seeing this
hate watching,
and
if
we've
you
been,
will.
we've been telling this as a joke as they were going down. Uh, I mean, this is like a joke, but Spurs will be in danger if they go like this. And week by week, we watch them sort of, sink.
Yeah,
Really, that's
I think so. I think
that's
that's part of it. Like, I mean, not to sound like a spoiled brat over here, but like, like, I mean, hey, you guys were close to relegation zone last season, but in terms of like,
yeah. Well,
there's
yeah. I,
always
I I
some
don't think I don't think
excitement
we were
there.
this close though at any point.
No, because I
Not
think
this
like
close. This
Spurs.
is this is like now really
No,
the
no, no.
relegation.
This is not close.
Like
They're
three
in it.
weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, like 4 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks ago,
Yes.
we have been we were down there as well. Yes, that is correct.
Yeah, like if you took a picture with a wide lens, you could see like last season United and Tottenham, but they were kind of like almost off to the side a little bit. Whereas you saw Tottenham, yeah, like from the side coming to the middle, and now they're like in the front of the picture going like this. So it's
Yeah.
just and I think that does make it a bit more interesting and unique to kind of like watch that relegation battle. Are you rooting for it? Let me answer that. Because we were talking about it earlier. I don't
I,
have a
I I would
specific
I would I would feel mixed. I think it's an interesting thing.
Richarlison getting
I'm
relegated.
not really, as you were saying, I'm not really anti-Spurs, but Spurs going down is a big one. So you have to be excited about that. So,
I know Richarlison getting relegated would make my
yeah, well, yeah,
season.
that's the bright side as well. Yes,
Will he
correct.
take his shirt off if they get relegated as part of his celebrations? That's why what I want to know. But yeah, it's definitely an interesting last 5 weeks over here. But big games, not as much as like last weekend. Obviously, the City Arsenal was a title race decider, at least like the course wise. The Chelsea United game, and obviously the Merseyside derby, but a lot of big ones this week too. So we'll be back same time next week. We'll see who got the upsets right. Do like, subscribe, do all that kind of good stuff, and then tune in tomorrow. The boys will be covering the World Cup again. Come for World Cup Wednesday, and obviously on Thursdays we do the World Cup preview. I mean, the Premier League preview. The World Cup is coming, and there's going to be a lot of stuff coming on air. So if you want to get involved, if you're on this side of the pond and into this kind of thing, whether it's the Premier League or soccer/football in general, send us a message, join us, join the craziness, because we definitely can use somebody better than Edip to make upset picks the way
Yeah,
it's
well,
going.
I'm way across the other side of the
Yes,
pond
you're on
as
the other
well.
side of that, another pond, if you will. Have an awesome week, everybody, and we'll see you guys soon. Take care.